Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So I cannot believe that I'm even making this video, but I am. And apparently Nikki Haley of all people is back, nobody asked for this by the way, and is teasing a 2024 presidential bid, saying that she could be that leader to step forward. She's hinting at a run after she said that she likely wouldn't about a year or 2 years ago. Now she's back, she's teasing a run, and it's just going to be a clown car at this rate on the right, at the rate that we're going. We've seen a lot of people who are unviable candidates in a primary want to jump in the race. We already have, I believe, like the Secretary of State of Montana, Corey Stapleton. He's already running. And we are going to see this year many people likely jump in the race. We're probably going to see somebody like Larry Hogan. We're going to see somebody like Asa Hutchinson, who was an awful governor of Arkansas, went full rhino towards the end of his tenure. And now you have neocon Nikki Haley coming back out of nowhere, basically, and now she's teasing a run. So we're going to dive into this, and we're going to talk about how ridiculous this is. We're going to talk about why this would be a total disaster and why that the GOP establishment may be wanting this to happen, at least for the time being. So apparently, if you looked or you saw what she said, the quote was she thinks she could be that leader, but she's not going to make an announcement on the interview on Fox News. She gets to go on Fox News. Notice how they don't have Trump on Fox News anymore. Trump declared his presidential run back in November of last year. Not a lot of people are talking about it, but it's very true. And they will learn to know that as, the year goes on. I'm sure Trump's going to be out there doing rallies. He's getting his campaign staff together. A lot of people in the GOP want to draft Ron DeSantis to run because he is the popular governor of Florida, and they want to move on from Trump, and they believe that they could use him as a vehicle to do so and still have an electoral chance to, I guess, win, because he's somebody who is not like completely despised by Trump's base. But Nikki Haley is somebody that is. She doesn't have any appeal in the places that are needed to win a presidential election, let alone a presidential primary, and we'll get to why. But either way, she said she would not make an announcement there, but she told the viewers to stay tuned. That sounds like presidential talk. Sounds like she's formally exploring a presidential run. I don't believe she has an exploratory committee, but one could very well be formed soon. And it's possible that she's just waiting around. It's possible if Ron DeSantis doesn't run for president, that she will be that type of person that the GOP will put up there against Donald Trump, and it would fail miserably. It would fail miserably. Nikki Haley is not Ron DeSantis. She doesn't have the political capital that he has right now, and as a result, she would get destroyed in a primary. This is true. She said she's never lost a race, and she's not going to lose now. We're going to get into why that's a little bit deceptive. I mean, she's ran in South Carolina, in a deep red state, and back in 2010, she only won by 5 points over a Democrat who wasn't like necessarily like a total moderate Dem or an ancestral Dem, but she won by 5 when the national environment was like R+6. It voted to the left of the national environment in this race, South Carolina of all states. So she's not exactly a winner. She's not exactly an electoral juggernaut. You look at 2014, she didn't even win by a ridiculous margin. She won by, I believe, less than what McMaster won by this year. And McMaster is somebody who's arguably more polarizing and ran in a year that was not as favorable to Republicans as 2014, especially in terms of the South, because you had very low black turnout that year. But either way, she told reporters she would not run. Now, apparently a lot has changed since then, according to her. So that was before we surrendered to Afghanistan. So already she's attacking like Biden from the neocon side of things. She's talking about how she's been inspired to return to politics because we pulled troops out of Afghanistan. And yes, Biden did so in a very incompetent manner, a very horrendous manner, just a dumb manner. I mean, that's the only way to describe it, but it doesn't matter. It just shows where her priorities truly are, and that's it. And she's looking to be somebody that could be propped up. She checks the affirmative action boxes. She is a minority. She is a woman, and she's going to be able to play that card as much as possible in a GOP primary. Now, is it going to work for her? Not necessarily. I mean, you're looking at the polls that she is included in, because she's not even included in a lot of polls. The latest poll out of Morning Consult, which again, we don't really like them. Their morning compost, they're not very good overall. But still, she's at 3% in that poll. YouGov Yahoo has her at 5. Big Village has her at 4. And yes, Donald Trump has dipped in some of these polls since the midterms, although you could argue he's starting to climb back a little bit because the initial shock of the midterms is over, because he did actually throw his hat in the ring. But either way, Nikki Haley is just a sideshow if she does decide to run. She's just a distraction. It's possible the GOP establishment is going to hype her up if it becomes down to Trump versus her, versus, like, I don't know, Larry Hogan or some of these other losers who don't stand a chance at all. But you look at the fact that the Republican voter base doesn't want anything to do with her. I mean, you could go back all the way even, 2 years ago or so and look at it. She was still down there in the single digits. So you look at the polls without Donald Trump in the race. If Trump for some reason stepped down, no, she can't even crack 10% in a poll. She got 10% there. And you talk about the electoral map needed to win. She's going to have to win Wisconsin or Pennsylvania to win in 2024. She has not a lot of appeal. She is a neocon. She is pro-free trade. I don't know what she said about cutting Social Security in the past, but if she has any quotes about that, that's not going to really bolster her. She's weak on cultural issues. We know that. She opposed signing a transgender bathroom bill in the state back during her tenure, and it's a big mess. She doesn't resonate with the base at all, and that is a problem. She's not going to be able to win a primary, but she's been awful all around. It goes deeper than the conceding on cultural issues. She was just a bad governor in general. Half the bills that she vetoed were overridden in her state legislature. And at the presidential level, only Andrew Johnson, who is widely regarded to be one of the worst presidents in American history, had a higher percentage of his bills vetoed. And it's not like, she was being based about it. It's like, no, she was a weak governor, and her state legislature was actually much stronger than her. She's a part of the very weak South Carolina GOP, and we know that. And back in the day, she would attack Trump from the left consistently when he was running initially for president. He never should have hired her. And when she was the UN ambassador, she was somebody who pushed him to be as interventionist as possible. She's a globalist. She loves free trade. She loves intervention. She's not America first. She wants total open borders, basically. She said that we need as many immigrants as possible. She said this on the Ben Shapiro show a couple of years back because she claimed that they are needed to enrich our culture. These are left-wing talking points. These are globalist talking points. She's no different. She's a part of the Uniparty. We know that. It's very insulting, basically telling her own voter base, no, you're not good enough. We need to import all these other people who aren't even going to vote for her, by the way. Let me just make that clear. Even her own state is not going to be voting for her in a primary. She'll likely get 30%. And a lot of people didn't like how she navigated the whole flag issue. She removed the Confederate rebel flag from the state grounds because there was a lot of pressure for her to do so. And again, whether you think that the flag should be on state grounds or not, it doesn't really matter. It shows that you're caving. And we see this all the time. We cave on flags. We cave on statues. We see now the left demanding that statues of George Washington, Andrew Jackson, even Abraham Lincoln be torn down. We see this all over the place now. And it's ridiculous. You can't cave on these issues. If something has never been a problem for the past 150, 200 years, you defend it because it's been in place and there's no reason for it not to be. And that's pretty much it. What is her appeal? Maybe some wine moms that may somehow exist in a Republican primary that are legacy ancestral Republicans. That's it. I think that she's just going to be a placeholder for a more viable candidate if she does run. She'll be a placeholder for somebody like DeSantis probably because it's very evident they're going to do everything they can to draft him. I'd be very surprised if he doesn't end up throwing his hat in the ring at this point. But either way, we know that Nikki Haley is just a mess. And if she runs and DeSantis runs and they both stay in, that would basically almost guarantee Donald Trump a primary win. So even if you are from that neo-never-Trump establishment side of things, it's like this is not really going to be the best move whatsoever. I'd be very surprised if she even got 20, 30% of the vote in the South Carolina Republican primary, which basically is where she was governor. You know, that's her home state. She can't even likely pull decent numbers there. And that's pretty much it. So I don't really know what the end game is. I think this is funny that she would even consider running. And the clown car will likely increase in size, increase in number. And you could look at some of these people that have, you know, thrown their hat in the ring already, or have, I guess, declared their intent to run. John Bolton. Like, really, the list keeps getting deeper and deeper. Yeah, a total neocon who voted for Joe Biden is going to stand a chance in the 2024 Republican primary. I mean, give me a break. Liz Cheney, Chris Christie, Larry Hogan, I mean, Asa Hutchinson. You have Kristi Noem, who's a total fake, by the way, and she is somebody who is attacked Trump and attacked DeSantis as well recently, so I don't exactly know what her end game is. It could be to be Trump's VP. It also could be to stay on that bench. She might be wanting to throw her hat in the ring as well. You have Mike Pence there. I don't know if he's going to run. I think you had like a hoax, somebody with his name filed for president from Indiana, but that was like fake or whatever. You have Mike Pompeo, who's a total neocon. He's probably going to run. Decision expected by spring 2023. You think he would run. You have Francis Suarez. I think he voted for Hillary Clinton. Yeah, I don't think that's going to go over very well. And then you have Chris Sununu, who I highly doubt is going to run. He'd probably just run for another term as governor, because that governor seat is basically his if he wants it. If not, he might go for like Senate in 2026 or something like that, but just another rhino. And then you look at all these other candidates, and I really am skeptical of the notion that somebody like, I don't know, Greg Abbott or Ted Cruz would throw their hat in the ring for 2024. Although I wouldn't be opposed if Cruz does, because then we might just get an upgrade at the Senate position and he'd be running for president, get like, I don't know, 5 to 10% in the Texas primary and have to drop out, and then we'd get somebody better in there in the U.S. Senate. So I don't know what's going to happen there. You have people like Brian Kemp, Marco Rubio. Like, those guys are basically like the deep bench. I don't think you're going to see them run. Tim Scott, who was appointed by Nikki Haley, another socially liberal disaster on a few issues. And then you have Glenn Youngkin, who is almost certainly not going to run, although I wouldn't be opposed to him being Trump's VP, even though that may not happen as of like recent beef that he's had with the lieutenant governor there, which I believe was started by the lieutenant governor. And then you have a bunch of people who declined to be candidates. I wouldn't be shocked if like 1 or 2 of them ended up running. But either way, the clown car is going to begin. And you're probably going to see a lot of people jump in the race. You'll see a lot of people drop out. But if the clown car is big enough, just like it was in 2016, Donald Trump is going to be in a much better position to win this primary than if there was not going to be a clown car at all. So we'll really just have to wait and see, as I like to say on this channel, what's going to happen in the next few months or so. But it should be a lot of fun. It should be a lot of fun. And honestly, the more clowns that jump in, the better it is for content. So be my guest, Nikki Haley. It'll be fun seeing you get 3% in Iowa. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.